What is going on with this labor shortage when the available pool of workers is just over 5 million, and yet there's 11 million jobs open?
There's a lot of factors, Griff. I mean, what Mike said is absolutely right. I mean, there is this sort of antithesis to work, and that's been, really kind of driven by the narrative from Washington. It's a very anti-business, pro-labor position that, our federal government has been taking over the past 2 years, and that's sort of fueled a lot of workers to try and stay home. But you know what? There's more than half of the small businesses in this country, according to the National Federation of Independent Businesses, are looking for workers. And Paychex just reported this as well, the HR firm. So, there's a lot of demand out there for businesses to hire, as we know. Some of my smarter clients are doing a better job than others at locating good employees. It can still be done.
Gene, an op-ed on FoxNews.com by Elaine Chao, former Transportation Secretary, caught our eye. In it, she lays out 3 ways that the worker shortage can be fixed. You see there in the first one, the skills gap. What do you make of that?
So there is a big lack of skills in this country, and we have always known that. There's a real reason behind that, Griff. I don't know, there's been a lot of conversation, obviously, about, the president's loan forgiveness that he's, that he's done in the past couple of weeks. Griff, I got to tell you, I mean, so many of my clients that hire people out of college find those people are so unqualified for their jobs that they almost have to retrain them, from scratch. And because of that, it creates a much bigger burden on businesses as well. The skills gap as well, to me, is a real fault for our higher education industry. It's also, something that a lot of businesses are really trying very, very hard to get around. I do have some advice for your watchers. I mean, there are some tax credits available to help workers and tax deductions that if employers want to pay for educational expenses, they can get a deduction for doing it, even paying down some of their student loans. So that might help with employers that are looking to provide that training for their employees. But, Griff, it's still a big issue among many employers. It really is.
That's a good insight, Gene. Let me ask you also about another story, and that is Democrats now defending the president's student loan forgiveness plan, even though experts are warning of the financial fallout that may result. Here's New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy backing the bailout. Take a listen.
This program gives relief to over 1 million New Jerseyans. I like the fact that the Pell Grant grantees get double the amount. On the margin, when you do the cost-benefit analysis, I think this is a really smart and good move.
But Gene, a new Washington Examiner op-ed argues voters actually oppose the bailout plan once they understand exactly how it works. They write, quote, the liberal media won't present people with most of these politically inconvenient realities. Instead, they'll just uncritically parrot the White House's talking points. What do you make of this?
Griff, look, I mean, I don't know if you've got kids in college or not. I just put my 3 kids through college, and it's a fortune. And, we did not take student loans out, and now we're being penalized for making that decision. The other thing that just really upsets me the most is that it is enabling the very people that have created this problem, and that is really our higher education industry. I mean, you and I both know that it's going to take a very short amount of time before students are wrapped back up again in student loans, because what the president is doing nothing to address the cost of tuition. And the industry itself will continue to do what they've been doing in the past, now knowing that the government will just bail out loans. And I don't even understand, again, having put 3 kids through college, Griff, I don't understand why we don't go to a 12-month schedule of education, why we don't readdress tenure of college professors, which is such an outdated management policy, why people can't work through the summers. If colleges offered 3-year degrees instead of 4 years, that alone would cut tuition by 25%. So loan forgiveness is one thing, but it is not addressing the real problem, and that is the higher education industry. And like I said earlier, it's American businesses that are picking up the bill for this problem, and that impacts everybody.
Gene, as the father of a daughter who's a senior in college and a high schooler headed there in 2 years, you are speaking the absolute truth for those costs and coming down. Gene Marks, thank you for taking time today. Great insight as always.